On this video, I'm going to be sharing honest advice if you really want to get better grades. If you always think that you need to study every single day to get the grades you want, you are wrong. When I was in my second year in the university, I was determined to improve my grades than what I had in my first year grades. I was studying every single day. I go to the library. I invested all my energy at that particular point in time. I failed most of my exams, and in fact, my grades became worse than it was when I was in my first year. Studying every day actually helped the situation, and I'm going to be sharing why it didn't actually help the situation in this video. I always forget everything in the exam hall, even after studying rigorously every single day. And it was when I got to my third year in the university that was when I realized specific things that helped me to improve my grades and get back on track. And that's when I realized that studying every day don't actually mean that your grades will improve drastically. In fact, you don't need to study every day, but there are certain things that you need to do, which I'll be sharing with you on today's video. Before I go into those things, I am Abayomi, and right here on this channel, I provide tips and strategies that can help you as a student improve in your academics and make you study effectively. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe to my channel right now. The first thing that I'll be discussing, which actually contributed to my failure in my second year, was that I went through burnout and mental fatigue. As a result of the fact that I kept studying every single day, it reduced my mental capacity. At that point in time, I was always feeling headache. Got to a point, it was counterproductive at that point in time, but then I didn't know. It was when I got to the 300 level that I knew. And I lose focus, and in fact, I didn't even give my brain time to even consolidate the information. Each time I want to study, I like the energy. I realized it in my third year, and it actually changed everything. I stopped studying consistently, and in fact, I stay hydrated. And as well, I manage my workload. That is, I try as much as possible to manage my workload and organize everything that I need to study very well. And also, I tried as much as possible to engage in relaxation activities. That is, going out with friends and doing fun things that actually help my brain to relax instead of studying every single day. And as well, I prioritize sleep a lot because I sleep most of the time, and I was balancing everything. And at that point in time, my grades improved drastically, and that was when I had the best grade ever. So if you really want to improve your grades, you don't need to study every single day. You just need to have a specific time that you are studying and actually balance rest and studying at the same time. Do not overwork yourself because it will not help you. And at the end of the day, when you overwork yourself, it becomes counterproductive, and you won't be able to get the results that you want at the end of the day. Another thing that contributes to the reason why I actually failed drastically in my second year is that there was lack of quality over quantity. Now, at that point in time, I prioritized more of studying every single day, like I said earlier, and I didn't actually take time to reflect on what I was studying. I was just studying every single day. I didn't ask myself questions. I didn't do anything. I was just looking at the book straight up every single day. And I thought that, okay, because I was looking at it, magically, I'll be able to remember when I'm in the exam hall, which didn't actually happen. And due to the fact that I was looking at the book rigorously and continuously, it caused so much mental fatigue. And as well, I had so much pressure because of the fact that I feel like the more I look at it, the more I study and I look at the book, it will get into my brain, which didn't actually happen. What I want you to do is that focus on more of quality rather than quantity. That is, focus on how well you are engaged with the material. Ask yourself questions along the way and discover how well you know and understand what you are reading, rather than just opening the book and reading on through and just looking at it repetitively without actually reflecting on what you are reading. I actually encountered overloading of information without proper understanding. I was overloading myself with a lot of information without properly understanding what I was doing. I didn't have any idea what I was doing because I lacked so much knowledge and I lacked so much understanding on how to study. And even for the fact that I studied, it actually degraded my grade so much. So anytime you really want to improve your grades and you really want to study, prioritize the quality of the time that you are using by actively engaging with what you are learning and actively ask yourself questions, test yourself, and see whether you are understanding and actually learning what you are learning instead of just reading all through by reading so much textbook without actually testing yourself and see whether you actually know what you are doing. If you are struggling to remember anything you study, if you are struggling to stay focused on anything you study at any point in time, or if you are struggling to stay consistent on anything you study and you struggle to get the grades you desire, I have created a packaged PDF for you that can help you study effectively. Also, I'm offering a personalized one-on-one coaching session that will help you take your study to the next level and will help you create a study plan that is tailored just for you. Thoughts are limited and don't wait. Click the link in my description now to message me and I'll send you the free PDF. Another thing that actually caused my failure is that there was no time for me to reflect. I was just studying every day. I didn't have time to reflect on the information. I didn't give myself time to consolidate the information that I had an exam. I was reading rigorously and continuously without sleeping. I had no time to reflect on the information. I didn't give my brain time to consolidate the information. And it now got to a point that I was just looking at the book. I was just looking at my material, like all through. I didn't ask myself questions. I didn't care. But then when I now got to the exam hall, I went blank, completely blank. I could not remember anything. I could not do anything even for the fact that I studied. And it was when I got to 300 level that I discovered that I didn't actually give my brain time to consolidate the information. I didn't give my brain time to reflect on what I studied, even for the fact that I've been studying every single day, because I was overloading my working memory. I was overloading my memory. I was just going all through without actually reflecting and seeing whether I actually know what I'm doing. I adopted inefficient study technique, which I had zero knowledge about how to study then. I was really cramming what I was studying. And in fact, I was reading repetitively instead of adopting good study strategies that can help me. And in fact, I was not strategic at all. I was just doing it the way I like, even for the fact that I studied it. So studying alone cannot actually help you. Then what can actually help you to improve your grades? And what I actually did in my third year that actually changed everything. In my third year, it was during the COVID-19 period and there was no class. So I was always at home and we had online classes. We had even more materials to study. But one way or the other, I had more courses in my third year. One way or the other, I was able to organize my study routine and my grades improved drastically than what I had in my second year. So, and my third year, I tried as much as possible to organize my materials. I had a timetable where I'll be studying every day. And at that point in time, once I wake up, I do every activities that I need to do, and I have a specific time that I need to read and the duration of time I'll be reading for. So I read for that duration of time, and once I'm done, I do other things that I need to do instead of sitting down in the table and just studying all through while it's not productive. I just studied all through without getting any productive results. So I had a specific time that I was studying, which is every morning. By the time I try to take my bath, brush my teeth and do everything. Then I get to the table and I study for 2 hours. Then I get off the table, I do anything I want to do. At that point in time, I had different subjects that I'll be studying at different times. And I scheduled them quite well. And in fact, at this point also, I consulted a lot of textbooks and I consulted a lot of questions to test my understanding. I was constantly testing myself to see whether what I'm reading actually sinked into my brain. It drastically helped me when I was writing the exam, because while I was writing the exams, everything was flowing in very well because I have actually tested myself and I've been able to address my deficiencies. So I was actually studying strategically in my third year that drastically improved my grades because I had the best grade ever in my third year compared to my second year where I was doing everything anyhow. And my third year also, I had colleagues I usually study with that we rub minds together and we actually share views together on whatever we do not understand, most especially calculation courses. We share ideas and we correct each other. And in fact, I also had time to have fun and do other things After I've read for the day and I've done everything, I still have time to go out with my friends and have fun. And I was relaxed, really relaxed at that point. And by the time I got to the exam, everything was just flowing because I did a particular thing in my third year then. A day to my exam or a few days to my exam, I refuse not to read. I don't read at all because I've been reading before and I've been spacing my learning. And by the time I go to the exam, everything just flows in like very fast because I had slept. So the nights before my exam, I prioritize more sleep than studying rigorously. After I might have studied previously in the semester and spacing my learning and injecting a lot of rest and fun into what I was doing. And in fact, during this time, I had time to meet my lecturers for help, and I consulted a lot of textbooks whenever I don't understand anything, and it actually changed everything and I improved. So my honest advice for you is that as much as you need to study every single day, always balance everything. You don't have to study every day. You have to rest because your brain is not a machine. Time. You have to give your brain time to rest at some point because that is when your brain goes through the process of getting that information into your brain. Then after you've rested, then you read. And when after you've read, you test yourself whether you've actually known whatever you are doing. And another thing that I would like to point out, which is important, is that you should always prioritize past questions. Check past questions about previous questions that have been answered for that particular course and try to solve them and use that to test yourself. And in fact, you can draw out more questions for yourself to test yourself also. It will really help you to improve your grades and also be consistent. While I'm saying that you should not study every day, doesn't mean that you should not be consistent. You should be doing it at interval. Once you study today, you don't have to study back to back for the whole day. Just have specific time that you focus on today to study, and tomorrow, even if it's just 2 hours, instead of studying back to back, you can even skip a day and study the next day and study another course again. So at that point in time, you are giving your brain time to rest in between, and you are not going to encounter mental fatigue or burnout. And in fact, you prioritize more of quality than quantity, and you are going to be adopting an effective studies technique because you are applying the spaced repetition, and by testing yourself, you are also applying the active recall at the point. And by resting, you are also applying the Pomodoro technique also. So I hope you got so much value from this video. If you did, please smash the like button and also subscribe to the channel. You can also check out this other video on how to study lots of material and still remember everything. So thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one.